Hey, what's up you guys? The Curious Owl here, and today I have the announcement for the next round of the Battle of the Bookish Skills Training Camp. We're finally back on schedule. This video is going to be going out on hopefully October 11th. I'm basically going to record, edit, and upload this like immediately because I want to make sure this announcement gets out before the actual start of the readathon, which is going to be on October 20th. So for the week-long readathon, it is going to be from Monday, October 20th to about Sunday, October 26th, with results for the winners on the 27th. So it's going to be just before Halloween. So a little bit of housekeeping. If you have never heard of Battle of the Bookish or the Battle of the Bookish Skills Training Camp, I'll leave the playlist of all of the videos that we've done, or that I've done so far regarding this. But Battle of the Bookish is a readathon that takes place every 6 or so months in January and June, where it is a month-long readathon where you have competitive teams and you are basically looking to get the highest average amount of points for your team to win. Now this basically gets shortened in the months of April and October as kind of a midway checkpoint between the big readathons, where we host a week-long readathon that is called the Skills Training Camp. The idea being that it is prepping you for the month-long battles so that you can sharpen your skills, you can earn as many points as you possibly can to then earn an advantage in the month-long round for your team. At the end of the month-long rounds, the winning team then gets to not only get the bragging rights for winning, but they also get to decide what the theme going forward for the next readathon is going to be, which will include the Skills Training Camp and the next month-long readathon. Our winning team from the last month-long readathon that we did in August, because there were some scheduling issues and had some kerfuffles going on, they decided to go with a TV show aspect. So without further ado, let's go into the specifics of how the week-long readathon is going to be run. So here is how everything's going to go. We are going to basically create our own bookish TV show series. Each book is going to be basically an episode worth in your season, and every season is going to be dedicated by so many points that your team has to earn in order to get to the next season. But there's going to be some challenges. We've kind of changed things up this year because of the fact that this was a really cool prompt to think about. And as we know, unfortunately, many TV shows do get canceled, sometimes after one season, or they run their course after 15, 16 seasons, and they have to come to an end at some point. Or somewhere in the middle of all of that, the series gets canceled, or the series stops because of writers' issues, or character issues, or something like that. So we've got some things in the works, some kinks that are going to basically come up in your series that may affect your overall point value within the readathon. But let me get into some of the more general aspects first before we get into the specifics. Now, typically in the month-long rounds, what we do is we look at the average amount of points that a team earns across all of their participants in their team. And in the week-long readathons, we kind of change that a little bit, where we focus more on the total points earned in terms of hitting benchmarks. Each book, you have the ability to earn not only page points, but also possibly prompt points if your book fits a specific prompt that we have slated for this readathon. To go over the page point system, it's pretty self-explanatory. Been a part of the Battle of the Bookish realm for a while, you'll kind of know how this works, but basically DNFs will basically earn only 5 points, and then the rest of the books, ranging from novellas all the way to large 1,000 page level book, earn a specific amount of page points per that book where it falls. Any book that is listed on Goodreads will count. You just have to let us know which type of edition you're reading, because some books may have closer to 400 pages, but the same book in ebook format may be more like 300 page range, something to that effect. You just have to let us know what format or what edition you have read of your book when you've read it, when you submit points, and all of that will be explained in our Discord, which will be linked down below. That is the way that we are doing this, is directly through Discord. Discord is the main way that we communicate with all of our participants, and where you will be able to then submit points for your books that you read over the course of the week and also over the course of the month-long readathon. So as I said, every book you are going to read in your team is going to be basically the equivalent of an episode in your TV series. Now, what's going to happen is that each of the teams are going to essentially have benchmarks that they all have to hit in order to go to the next season. Season 1 is basically the start of the readathon. It's kind of where we're just going to get everyone in. It's their first season, whatever. And then Season 2, you have to earn as a team 500 points in order to get to that Season 2 aspect. It doesn't matter how many books are used in that time frame. It doesn't matter how many books your team reads. As long as a team you earn 500 points, you could have a person read one book in your team and it earn 500 points, and that'll be a season. Or maybe it's more of like a TV series movie kind of thing, you know. We'll kind of, it doesn't really matter. This is just kind of the theme, the kind of aesthetic, if you will. Now here is an extra little bonus for this. TV shows typically get ratings, typically indicates to networks whether or not a series is viable and is able to continue because of interest. So we are taking star ratings of books into account in this round. Skills Training Camp usually is a little bit different than the month-long readathons because there's usually some fun little game involved, and this is our game. Your star rating of your book is going to affect the way your season runs and your series runs in general. You will also earn points for how you rate your book. If you rate your book 5 stars, you earn the maximum amount of points for the star rating aspect on top of any page points and prompt points that your book earns. And if you, for instance, DNF it, there could be some consequences. So be careful with what you are choosing to read in the week because it could have adverse effects on your show. Your team consistently earns low ratings for your books. You could run the risk of your show being canceled and having to basically start over from scratch. This is a brand new aspect that we are involving in the Battle of the Bookish Skills Training Camp specifically. So you guys are going to have to really let me know what you think about it because this is something that we kind of came up as we were thinking about this idea of TV shows and the cancellations that are happening across all different networks and platforms and all that stuff. So please let us know how you think about this in the comments of this video, in our Discord. Let us know what you think about it because we are really interested to see how people react to this kind of a way that something can be run. Without further ado, here are the point values you can ascribe to your book on top of page and prompt points if you rate your book a 5-star, 4-star, 3-star, anything like that. If your book earns a 2-star rating or lower, you will not earn any points for that. And as I said, if you consistently give books poor ratings, it can really affect your team and it can really run the risk of your team having your show canceled and having to start over. Now, there is an asterisk with the DNF specifically because there are certain teams where they will have an ability to earn full points for their DNF, which I will get into in a little bit. Here's where exactly the punishment, if you will come in for your team if you consistently get bad ratings. If at any point across the readathon, your team and any season, even if it's the pilot season, if your team has 5 bad books from anyone in your team, or could be a combination from a couple different people, your show will be canceled and you will have to start from the bottom with a brand new show. Now, all of the books that you will have logged by that point will still be logged and be in our spreadsheet that we can track points with, but they will have no point value. They will stay there so that you know at least what you've read, but you will earn no points for those books if you end up having your show canceled. Any skills also, any team skills that you have used at that point will no longer be available. You will not earn that skill back if you used it for a particular book. It will be still completely gone. You will have used it up and you will have no ability to get it back if your show is canceled. So be careful with what you're reading and be careful with how you rate things because it really, really could have adverse effects on your team. In addition, we do have more abilities for points because we also have theme points for your show and for the books that you're reading. All of our teams are based on shows that involve aspects of friendship, which is really kind of cool because this whole community we've built has been amazing and we've made so many great friends with the people that have participated, and we have friends who have come and joined us because of word of mouth, which is amazing. So if you have a book that involves themes of friendship within it, you're gonna earn some extra points for that book on top of page points, rating points, prompt points. There's so much ability here for points. We kind of went crazy with it, if you can't tell. So whether it is a friendship that is established in the book or a friendship that is even tested in a book, you will earn an additional 50 points for that book if you can tell us that that book involves those things. And because it's the Halloween season and leading up to Halloween, if your book is placed in the fall time, your book will earn an additional 25 points, and you can combine them. If your book is placed in the fall and does have friendship aspects, those will add up together on top of your page, your prompt, and your rating points. Okay, I talked a lot about the logistics of how this is gonna work, so now let's get into the teams and the team skills and the prompts that we have for this round. As I said earlier, the TV shows that we had for teams that we picked for this all involve aspects of friendship. So the first team we have is Team Gilmore Girls. More specifically, this one is like the relationships that we have with people, looking at like really the relationships between parents and lovers and all those things, and how sometimes friendships can turn into love interests. For Team Gilmore Girls, your team skill is called Literature Lover. This, you can use 2 of our prompts for 1 book. Typically during the skills training camp, we don't allow you to double up on prompts because there's only so many prompts. We kind of look at 1 prompt per day kind of thing. But with this team, you will have the ability to use 2 prompts for 1 book, only the 1 time. All of the skills can only be used once during the week, and if your show gets canceled and you've used your skill, you will not be able to get it back. But if you haven't used your skill and your show gets canceled, you still do have the ability to use it. Our next show definitely plays more in that friendship aspect, and that is Team New Girl. I mean, you've got one girl living with a bunch of boys and having all kinds of different crazy antics going on with their friendships and relationships and things of that nature. But at the core of it, even though I never really watched the show New Girl, I've got the idea that there's a lot of aspects about friendship within this show. The skill that this team earns is a group of weird people who seem to work well together. For this, you will have the ability to take 1 book and fit it for a prompt that normally it would not fit. So for instance, if you have a book that doesn't necessarily fit like a certain theme prompt, but you don't really have another book that will fit that you want to read this week, you can pretty much use that at any point as long as it's only the 1 book. The next team is from a show that I personally really love, despite how stupid it really can feel at times, but definitely plays on those friendship dynamics because of the main character's best friend and the relationships that he develops over the course of the series, and that is the medical TV show Scrubs. I am a Scrubs girly, as dumb as that show can be sometimes, but it is one of the really truest TV shows that there is that deals with friendship because of JD's relationship with Turk and his developing relationship with Elliot over the course of the series, and Elliot and Carla's relationship over the course of the series. There's so much to do with friendship in this show that really, I think, takes the forefront as opposed to any of really the medical stuff that happens. Team, the skill is You're Not Dying on Me Today, and this is the team that is able to use a DNF for full points. So if there at any point is a book that you specifically are like, I really don't like this, I want to DNF it, you do have the ability to use 1 DNF book and get full points for it, despite the fact that DNFs typically will not earn you points. So if you decide to DNF a book, obviously you're not going to get the rating points for it, but it still can earn the page points, the prompt points that you wanted to assign to it, as well as any fall points that comes with it, or any friendship points that would come from it. And finally, I don't think we could do a TV show based readathon that involves friendship without including one of the most amazing TV shows that there is that deals with friendship, and that is Friends. The skill that we have for this team is the Central Perk Points Program. So for this, for 1 book, you will be able to double the amount of points that it possibly can earn. So if you have a book that is a 5-star, deals with friendship, deals with something being placed in the fall time, and whatever page points it earns, all of those can get doubled for 1 book. This is where I was saying it is entirely possible for 1 person, 1 book, to basically encompass an entire season of a series. So it is very, very easy for an entire season to be based on just 1 book. It's possible. It just depends on what type of book you read and whether it hits all the factors that we're looking for. Okay, with all of that, let's finally get into the prompts that we have for the week of the skills training camp. The first prompt is called the pilot episode. This is to read a book that is the first book in a series. Now, standalones will count for this, but we really would like for you to start a new series if you possibly could. But again, if it's a standalone or if it's even a prequel to a series, that also will count, because prequels in our minds really are kind of the beginning of a story, if that makes sense. Next is the prompt, meet the characters. For this, you're gonna have to read a book that has a large cast of characters, not just 2 or 3, but maybe somewhere more along the lines of 4 to any amount. Multiple POVs in the book, that also will be really helpful. But again, it has to be more of that like 4+ kind of thing for it to really count. The next prompt is there romance? And this is to read a book that has some kind of romantic vibe. The next prompt is action-packed. This is to read a book that has something action-related into it, whether it's trials, a fight, a war, something along those lines. Next is pop that corn. Enjoy something that is going to be fast-paced and really make you eat that popcorn quick. This is up to interpretation, because there's a lot of people who might read graphic novels or comics or novellas. This also could be something that you deem as fast-paced if you deem things like romances fast-paced, or something that like is in a page range that you still think you can read fairly quickly. If you read a 1,000-page book and you fly through it, that's also fine. Next is sit back and relax, and this is to read a cozy read. Anything that you find cozy. Cozy mystery, cozy romance. Even if you read a thriller and that's cozy, by all means, have fun. And the last prompt is enjoy the show, and this is to read a book that you have really been wanting to read for a long time, or at the very least have been just itching to read since you got it, since you saw it was released, whatever. But you've just been waiting for the right moment to read it. This is the time to use that book. So I do think I have gone over everything that there is to know about this round of the skills training camp. If I've missed anything or you have any questions though, please feel free to leave a comment down below or ask us in our Discord. We're more than happy to make any clarifications or really clear up anything that seems a little bit outside of the understanding of people. Like, we feel like that there is always room for improvement and always room for us to be able to clarify something a little bit better. So please feel free to ask me any questions in this video, or like I said, on our Discord. Our Discord has a specific chat that is like kind of an FAQ or Q&A or Ask the Master kind of thing, the Battle Master. So please feel free to utilize those as you need to. We're more than happy to answer any and all questions that you guys have. But I am so excited for this round of skills training camp. I think this is honestly one of the most exciting ones we've done in a while. I've really loved all the rounds we've done, truthfully, but I feel like this is the most creative we have been when coming up with a skills training camp. So please feel free to let us know too what you think about it, how you like it, whether there's something that we could have done better. More than happy to take any kind of constructive criticism that you have. But anyway, thank you guys so much for joining me in this video. If you guys did enjoy it, please do give it a big thumbs up. And if you haven't already and you'd like to be and would like to see more content like this, go ahead and hit that button down below and subscribe to become an owlet in our flock. And I will see all of you guys in my next video. Bye guys!